Live from the Injured on the Go Just Call Mo studio.
It's a blast!
It's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
It is a corporate time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I'm Tom. We have comedian Aimee LeCours here. How you doing, Aimee?
Very good to see you.
She'll be hosting.
Is the microphone lift it way high? You got to go way high.
Yeah, let me help you.
And then now drop it down. Yep, there you go. She
like
got
the
it.
lawn chairs.
Yeah,
Got it.
she got it. She got it. Well, the limpy part, I can't do anything. Well, you know.
just a
Tom's
lady, I need
got you.
help.
Tom's got you. You just stay put. It's fine. It's fine. Professional radio.
Professional.
Oh, he just muscled
Perfect,
it.
yes.
There, look at that.
Been
Look at that.
tell-
A real gentleman. You know, I'm going to put the camera on you. That's a real gentleman right there.
Thank you. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thank you, Tom, for doing that. Comedian Aimee LeCours, everybody. What an entrance.
Yeah, that was really.
You were like Andy Kaufman trying to fall through the curtain on the Tonight Show.
That's me.
I like that.
That's totally me.
Good to
Absolutely.
see
It's all
you,
a bit.
man. How
Good
you
to
been?
see
How you been?
So good. So happy to be here. Angry that I'm short. We've been talking about being
Yes.
short and angry and hot. I'm hot, angry, and short. Yeah.
We got the air on. The air's on. We're cool you down. We're going to cool you
nice
down.
and cool in
So
here.
you mentioned you were, before the show started, 5'1".
Yes.
And then I said,
Dan was 5'2".
I am 5'2". I have her by 1 inch.
yeah.
Well, that's, you know what? Is that not such a beautiful microcosm for my masculinity?
It is.
I am only 1 inch of a man to most women.
Living on an inch.
Yeah,
living by an inch.
living on an inch.
You can't stop yourself from growing. Exactly.
I'm living on the inch.
So
Come on.
you guys asked me how tall I was.
Yeah.
And
And then you froze.
Be
like-
honest.
yeah, I have a funny story about
You
this.
froze.
So-
oh, he took a sip. When he says I have a funny story, he takes a sip. It's like he's on a congressional hearing.
I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah, congressional
He's
hearing
Gathering
Tom.
his thoughts, his
Yeah.
tall thoughts.
So I'm bad with details,
Uh-huh.
like little ancillary details
Right.
around me, and then and it goes so far as like even important details that you should know, like like my feet are two different sizes and things like
You're
that.
not supposed to tell
Like
other people.
I didn't even realize until I was in my mid to late 30s.
Well, how much of a size? It's like a half a size,
No,
right?
one full
A
size.
One
full
full size.
Full size difference.
Your whole life you were wearing one shoe that was the wrong size?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
he used to have to stuff his dreams in the toe of his shoes
I
to get to run to school.
I only
notes.
now realize like one shoe was always tighter, and
Yeah.
then once I realized in my late 30s,
Is that what caused the Ron Jeremy foot?
yeah, I think so. I think
What's
think
the Ron Jeremy foot?
He has
compensating.
you know, Ron Jeremy's penis is so long. Well, in his,
Anyway,
in his
I don't
later
know.
years, it was so large, and he was so old that he couldn't,
Okay.
he couldn't go full strength.
Right.
And so he'd have to squeeze the base of it
Oh.
like a water balloon. So
Uh-huh.
Tom's foot gets dead, and it kind of drags
I
like
gotta
a
squeeze
big.
my thigh to inflate it.
Yeah, he has to
Took
squeeze
a long
his.
time to get there. I got it.
He
Yeah.
has to squeeze his thighs while he's running to keep. But it works. You finished. Triathlete, everybody.
Oh my goodness.
So when I originally went to get my driver's license
Mm-hmm.
when I was young or whatever, and this is what's weird in the the DMV or whatever, they just ask you your height.
Yep.
They just and then you tell them and they just type it down. They don't make you stand next to a measurement.
No, I think I stood near a thing.
I didn't.
Oh, yeah,
I said
no.
I was 5'6", and they put it on there for a good
yeah,
10 years.
Yeah. Because it
Oh,
doesn't
my
matter
God.
that much. The
Is it
exact height.
willy-nilly? Because I don't think I ever got the opportunity to cheat on my driver's license. That would be
That's
fantastic.
funny.
Because your height is basically, I think it's just used as a general idea of,
Now,
of
weight,
who you are.
Like
you know?
weight, I know that they
they don't
ask
weigh you.
No, they don't.
They don't weigh you.
I
yeah.
wonder how, like, the biggest liar. if EJ was like
I'm 100 pounds.
200 pounds. And
Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah.
would they write it down?
I'm a chubby 185.
You want to test me? Let's do it.
Or do they just, do they look at you and they're like, nah, I'm putting 280.
Yeah.
Like do your own. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll do my own.
Anyway,
don't
so-
even ask. I'll just write it down.
So they asked me, and then I didn't really know. So I'm just like 5'10".
You know what? That checks out.
Yeah.
You are the type of person where, like, as a young man, like you're new in the world, really. They ask you, well, how tall are you? You're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
whatever.
I can see that.
And then I kind of knew I was around 5'10" or
Right.
whatever, and maybe I did exaggerate towards the taller end or whatever.
Some
so
of our greatest leaders exaggerate their height and under-exaggerate
I love
their weight.
exaggerating.
Bad with
Yeah.
details. Bad
Yeah,
with
yeah.
details.
I mean, Joe Rogan, our current president.
Joe Rogan's 5'2", right?
Kid
Isn't
Rock.
Joe
Yeah,
Rogan
he's my
5'2"?
height.
Yeah.
He's my height. Actually, I think he's your height.
Yeah.
I have Joe Rogan by 1 inch.
So so then I just put that, and then I, you know, I think throughout the years, when anybody asked me how tall I was like, I just went back to 5'10" or whatever.
Yeah.
Then
I've always known you to be 5'10".
I'm not joking, like late 20, early 30s or something, like somehow, like someone actually measured
Was it
me.
a challenge?
I don't know.
It was probably a challenge,
Something.
and they're like, let's see how tall you are.
It may have been like the
You know
first
what
time I
think
went
it
to
was?
a doctor.
I
don't
think
know.
it was height and weight for one of your when you're boxing women or when you're.
I don't even know. But and then it turns out I was closer really to 5'9", which is you know. So then
Nah.
You might
I
have
think-
shrank
Who
too. We shrink as we get older too.
and
Oh
Get
God, we
smaller.
do.
no,
Yeah,
I'm not
our
that. I'm
bodies
not all
are
Jesus.
From
Mr.
the
Burns.
cartilage.
Is it possible for
Throw
me
that-
to start
Yeah,
at
that's a-
5'2" and then actually
Oh, yeah.
become an M word?
Yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, like if you make it to
That's my goal.
like your 80s,
That's my goal.
You'll be
Yeah.
full
Oh, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Because your cartilage gets compacted.
Oh,
so
mine's
it's
already
smaller.
compacted.
So there we go. You're
The
already good.
problem with that
Very
is
squished.
M-words don't make it that long.
I know.
Oh,
They
yeah,
don't.
it's
They
true.
don't.
Actually, maybe they do. I don't know. The tall,
No, they don't.
The extreme tall don't.
They don't.
No,
either.
no, they burn
Right,
out
Andre
fast.
the Giant, he died young.
Oh
right?
yeah. Like Manute
Big,
Bowl. I don't
extreme
know.
big and extreme little die early. It's the boring middle people
Right.
that live forever.
It doesn't work like that with dogs though, because the little tiny peepee dogs, those
Yeah.
things live
Last
forever.
Very
True.
efficient. You know what I call them? It's like a Honda engine. You don't even have to
True.
change the oil in a PB dog.
Forever.
That thing will. It can be covered in warts. It could have cancer. Still got 20 years.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm actually currently watching my friend's old Yorkie peepee dog, and it is old. It was old last year when I fell in the pool when I was watching it.
Every year it gets older.
It is. I mean, it can't see, can't hear. It
Yeah.
just it walks around bumping into things.
And
It's just-
Aw.
that's when I feel like when dogs are like that is when they really shine. That's when you get the most out of them. I feel
That's
like,
it.
right?
That's it. You
Like
really
when
get to know 'em.
when they're walking into a wall and they're incontinent and their diarrhea is everywhere.
It's like they're on mushrooms. It's fun. It's a good time.
yeah.
There's little tiny puddles of pee-pee everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Little surprise. Always a good surprise.
Pardon me. The best part of little pee-pee dogs,
Yeah.
and when you start to not care,
Yeah.
and then you start to realize that you let a pee-pee pile dry.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's when you should change your life. You got to change your life after that.
It's like all little glossy,
Yeah, you'll
like
see
tiny.
it. Yeah, you'll see it. It's dry
Only
there.
when the sun hits
yeah,
it.
exactly. You've done it. You'll be sitting there, you're watching TV, and then the sun like will change position. Then you say, "Oh my God, there's 6 little dried pee-pee." And you're like, "I'm a monster."
Little sleeper cells just waiting for you.
Yeah. It is disgusting. It really is. And Thomas said this before. He's absolutely correct on this one. There are people that don't notice the odor of their pet. And it's a thing. It's really, guys, it's a thing.
It's a thing. Nobody knows their own house smell.
I'm putting
They
it
don't
out there
know
as a
it, yeah.
warning because I'm hypersensitive to it.
Me
And the
too.
minute that Dansby starts stinking, Maisie will bathe him up. And our house doesn't smell bad. But when we had that carpet and we had 2 dogs in that house,
hard.
Oh yeah.
it had an odor, and you
Yeah.
would tell me, and
yeah,
I'd be
that-
like,
that
"What the?" I was offended. I'm like, "You know what?
that was
You
a
and your
lot.
wife, you get the hell out of here."
How
Sir.
dare you, sir?
Good day. And no, he was right.
When
The
you had
carpet. Oh my God! When they took that carpet out of there and they laid the tile
We have
down,
old
the whole
carpet.
house was like.
I can't wait. We have old carpet and I hate it. And we had a dog for a while. And some things you can never get out, and some things they always chew up. And me too. I get really sensitive about the smell. That's why we don't have animals. I love other people's animals, but I can't have my own because of the smell.
And then when you have old carpet, you live with it for so long,
Yeah.
and then
Gotta
you're
get
just
the value.
Yeah, you're just like a
Well,
little
my
bit
wife
more.
is cheap, and she had to get the value. Well, like our carpet was, it went from tan to like it became like a taupe. It was disgusting. It was horrible. And then we had a baby, so we're just like, let the baby barf and pee all over.
When you have kids, you don't care. And then you just you see that stain. We have like a blue stain from paint from like 5 years ago that we've never fixed. Like remember all these things that happen throughout your life, and it's mostly bad because it's like dirty stuff. Yeah, it's bad.
You know, like this should be a piece of advice to anybody, any new homeowner, that when you get carpet, it especially in like the living room or high traffic areas, that you want to get the value out of it. So you're just like, I'm gonna push it.
I did. I pushed it way too far. I couldn't have people over. It was disgusting. Like it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing.
And it does get to the point where it is completely disgusting to everybody, and you just got used to it because you live there.
It's not that bad.
But your guests, it is. And then when you get new carpet or change it to like the amount it costs to change it,
so much
is a lot. But then you think like this increased the quality of my life by tenfold.
I can't even put a number on it.
Right.
Like why didn't I do this earlier?
Happier than when my daughter was born. When I got seriously, like when we got the floors and it didn't stink in there, I was like,
you were living in squalor.
I was like, I was an animal. I was a monster.
Walking on this filth every single day.
Yeah.
Like clean floors, like clean hardwood floors. There's nothing more luxurious, or clean like tile.
And there's nothing more sad, and I would do this, than when Andrea would be like, hey, straighten up because, like my dad's coming over.
Yeah.
So I go get the Dyson or whatever, and I vacuum. You straighten up and you vacuum, and you get those nice vacuum marks, and then you look, and the vacuum marks, just underneath the vacuum marks is just filth.
Yeah.
Like it's vacuumed, but it's great.
Let's get a rug. Let's put a rug over it. Then that gets gross too. It's gross. Yeah.
It's absolutely gross. So, do you want to talk about?
Well, because Aimee, I just want to remind everybody, and our listeners probably know, but you have a psychology background. And are you currently licensed? How did I forget? We always ask it. I feel embarrassed.
No. I like this. I like to wipe my brain clean, and then I'm like, and you are?
You are. Yeah. I am a licensed mental health counselor in Florida. I am still licensed. I don't practice. I create trainings for therapists and doctors around mental health, and that's what I do for my day job. And then I do a show called Psych where I have comedians on and I diagnose them, make them cry, and have a good time.
So,
I love it.
And I just mentioned that. So then when we have these in-depth conversations about psychology that people know that you know what you're talking about.
Some dumb lady.
Yeah, we just invited some lady in here. Hey, what do you think, lady?
So I've been watching this Aaron Rodgers documentary, Enigma, which is the worst name.
It's great. It's so great.
He seems like a nice guy, but he's not doing himself a favor with all the dancing and the ayahuasca and circles and the...
Ooh, what is it? What's it called? I haven't seen it.
Enigma. And anyway, but he talked, and you mentioned it earlier, and I wanted to ask you about ego and ego death, and like it seems to be a prevalent in the psychedelic world. Like he was talking about, he takes ayahuasca and then freaks out, and then it's like then he tries to break his ego down so he could be a better person.
I'm not even sure I understand fully what ego death is.
Or what even, I understand like, oh, this guy's got a big ego. I understood that. But then it's like everybody has some ego,
We may be misusing that. Usually we use that for people that are kind of cocky or overly confident. We say stuff like that,
Well, yeah,
right?
and like the therapy, they have the ego and the id. So that like one is like inside, one is outside. And like your ego is, how you view yourself and how you present yourself to the world. And from what I understand, I would love to learn more about that because I have taken psychedelics and they have made my life much better. And it's made me to where I don't think about myself as much. So that's how I view ego death. It's like instead of thinking about you're thinking about the whole world, and you're thinking about how you're connected to the whole world. Have you been around somebody that's been on mushrooms? You're like,
It fascinates me because I'm like, you know how the world works now? Like, you know how the universe started?
And the people,
if you go real.
And people that are on psychedelics or have done them in the past, when they tell you that they've got it figured out, there is a level of confidence in their eyes that is terrifying because it's like when a murderer it'd be like it's the confidence in the person's eyes
is
like a Jack Ruby or somebody like a real like somebody going, I'm going to kill the you. You know, like
I got a skin suit. Look at my skin suit.
It's so definitive. It's like they're like, I figured out how the universe works now, and you're like, really? And they're like, yeah.
Oh, I love it.
And that yes is a stone cold. It's a railroad spike to your eyeballs.
I
right?
think of it like this. I know y'all were talking about this last time, Stranger Things. Okay.
Yeah.
And you know how like the upside down and everything, it's all connected. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. Like everything's connected. And so everything from Russia is connected to America. It's all connected. And then there's the good and the evil. I think when you're on mushrooms, you're connected to all of that. And then you learn how to ebb and flow with the universe. So you're not you anymore. You're everything.
See, and then when you tell me that, I'm just like, what the?
Did you see the stare when she said that? Did you see the way she looked at me when she said that?
And then
like she wanted to peel my face off.
Yeah.
When you tell us that, then me and Daniel, we make fun of you.
Yeah, when you leave, just so you know.
The silence was like, no.
When you leave, just so you know, we're going to be like, that bitch is crazy.
Well, I'm going to be happy with my ego,
will
and y'all
not.
are going to be sad.
Well, it's
We
easy
will
to make
not.
fun of it. But, so when you're speaking of ego,
Yeah.
and like I have a hard time even understanding what it even is.
Right.
And you mentioned like how you present yourself to other people.
The chat room's laughing that I used my example of somebody who's stone cold was Jack Ruby. That is a strange example.
It's a
I,
dated
I
dude.
wasn't
Ego,
going serial
yeah.
killer. I was more going a man who is going to do something and there's no stopping him. That's what I was going for. That's what I was going for.
Yeah, let's look at Google what ego is. There's like 5 different definitions of it. You know, there's a lot of different definitions of ego.
So when you say how you present yourself to someone else, I always grew up thinking that I should present whatever that person wants.
Right.
Like whatever they want me to be.
That's
right?
terrifyingly sad. Wow, that's sad. Oh my God.
It works really
Well, so
well.
yeah, that's what ego is. Ego is a person's sense of self, importance, or self-worth. So it is like how you view yourself, how you present yourself. A healthy ego is self-esteem and stuff like that.
My chat GPT is literally going off on me right now.
Is it mad at you?
I don't know what I said. Explain to me what ego and ego death is in simple terms, just so I could, help
just
in this
do what I just
discussion.
did.
And it said the ego's basically your inner narrator, the voice in your head that says, "I'm Dan. I host a show. I like drums. I hate cold food. I'm a good dad. I'm a bad husband. I'm a funny guy." It's your sense of identity. Why did it call me a bad husband?
How does ChatGPT know?
Oh, he knows
my God.
everything. It's 5 steps ahead of me. It already knows that I killed Andrew. In a moment, usually during something intense like a psychedelic trip, deep meditation, or a traumatic experience where you stop thinking of yourself as you.
Yeah.
You lose the feeling of being separate. It's like someone turns off your name, your story, your job, your worries, and you just are.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
Well, ChatGPT said it better.
Yeah, but ChatGPT's a man.
I'm sorry, you're right. You're right. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I
kidding.
just don't wait. I don't know. So literally, think about how annoying that voice is in your head telling you that you're not good enough or you got to get up in the morning, right? Like that's annoying after a while, and it will shame you. So learning to be able to take that and not have that anymore and just be like a flower. Like a flower doesn't think if it's a flower, if it's good or bad. It just is.
Gotcha. And I don't understand.
Oh my God. I'm a flower.
Yeah. Like,
So is there an active place within this? Because to me, what you're describing, when I am shedding everything that gives me my quote identity,
Yeah.
am I actively participating within everything, or am I just observing everything, or does it change person to person?
It depends on how much drugs you do.
Yeah.
Right? Because like when I would do mushrooms, it would just be enough for me to get tapped into that world to where I could like be like a feather, right? So like you could like feathers don't have their own existence, but
They do in Super Mario World. I'll tell you that. That'll make that's the biggest jump they have in the new game.
Is it?
Yeah, biggest jump they have.
So maybe like a fish, like a fish can go with the stream or against the stream, right? But they're not maybe thinking about there being a fish. So it just depends, and it depends on what your idea of happiness is. If your idea of happiness is control and being in control all the time, ego death might not be for you. But for someone like me who's always thinking, and I, relate to like, oh, I want to make people happy, I would love to turn that off and truly just be who I am, and I don't always know who that is.
I agree with that.
So
that speaks to me. Yeah, well said.
So let me ask you this. And by the way, I am just using this as a free therapy session.
Oh yeah, that's what we are. Are you okay with that? You're okay with that, right? Yeah. Hold on, let's give the plug, and then that way we're
should be hosting S Sandwich at the Bull and Bush July 19th.
Yes.
It's every first and third Saturday at the Bull and Bush. So head by, support Aimee.
If
She's
you've
got
never been, great place, great
fun.
drinks,
Thank
great food.
Best.
great comedy, a lot of regulars, people that like these aren't just ham and eggers. These are people that do it day in and day out.
true.
And you never really know who's going to stop in
Never
there.
know.
Sometimes you might. There have been times where, and I'm not promising this, but famous people have gone in there and done comedy. So
True. People become famous afterwards. We have a lot of people that are famous now that started it.
absolutely true. Absolutely.
sorry.
No, I got you.
Sorry about that.
Don't even worry about it. You are golden.
I'm about to ask you an impossible question, but I see memes. I get most of my life advice through memes.
Love that. Yes.
And a meme pops up, and then it says, "Once you learn how to control your happiness and be happy, even under circumstances that would make someone sad, that's the greatest superpower any human could have."
Yeah.
Right? Is controlling their own happiness.
Ooh, I'm not good at that.
And then I'm like, oh yeah, this meme's right.
Oh yeah. I like
like-
that you make the horny noise. Oh yeah, I'm horny for self-motivation meme. Oh.
Because I'm
that, yeah.
I'm thinking about it, I was like, because if you could literally somehow through like some sort of practice
My
just
wife does that.
control being happy at all times,
Right.
I'm like that because that's what everybody says. The meaning of life is happiness, right? Like,
That's why I'm so
you are-
envious of my wife. Andrea has this to a point.
Yeah, if you could just be happy,
Yeah.
then it doesn't matter what your situation is. I mean, even it could be horrible, and you could have horrible news. And
But then they say that
Be-
they say that we are engineered to do that. I mean, the only person that does control our happiness is us. We are it. The
Yeah.
buck stops with us. So why can't
Well,
we be happy?
It's weird that it's like you go back far enough, and I don't know if this is even true, Aimee, but ancient man, there's way less suicide, especially like in people were
Too
just
old to kill himself.
I mean, they only lived to like 13, so they didn't have time.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, ancient man didn't even have pubes.
it was so hard.
Stupid ancient man, only 5'1", not killing themselves, little peas.
They were small, like in the Vasa
Tiny little
Museum.
ancient-
little stupid angry men,
Little ancient bitch.
little ams.
All these Swedes in 1600 were like 5 foot tall.
Yeah, they're little.
Dummies.
We had to get big because Americans created the buffet.
I love
So,
that. Thank
anyway-
you, America. God bless you.
back to my original
Yes,
question.
yes.
It's impossible to answer, by the
Uh-huh.
way. Is that I'm like, yeah, that makes sense to me. If you can control your happiness, and even under adversity and like situations that are not happy, you could
Right.
still somehow force yourself to be happy. You know,
Don't you do
And
elements of this? You do
No.
this sometimes by just not.
I can force myself into nothing.
Well, that's better
No
than I
happy,
can
no
do.
sad. Yeah,
I'm
but then-
I'm more reactionary. So I admire what you do. Like Andrea, my wife does this. My wife is perpetually happy. Like it's not 100%, but
Yeah.
it's damn close.
Right.
I'd say I'd give her a solid 98% of
That's amazing.
happiness.
I love that.
What-
Like
but-
with 2% throughout the year, there'll be one day where she's
Right.
like, just leave me alone. And other than that, nothing breaks her stride. It's
love
rad.
that.
I can't do that.
I love that.
I think the rest of humanity, though, sees that and are like, this can't be real because it seems impossible.
It used
you
to
know?
be the joke with her, right? We used to joke all the time. Like, that's not it.
Yeah. I'm like behind the scenes. She was real
she's
bad.
very happy.
So, but anyway, like, how does someone even start
good
to
question.
even think about training themselves to do that? I don't even understand.
So the biggest thing that you keep saying is control, right? Control does not equal happiness. Control means power. All right, so you're thinking
I love
of
power.
right, right.
I want the
So-
most power. And then I want to use that power to ruin everybody else's
Right.
happiness.
So we're talking about something completely. We're talking about something completely different, right? And so control and power can create dopamine and excitement and all that. So that's one part of like what could make you happy.
When do we talk about money, power, respect?
Exactly. Money, power, respect, sex, drugs, rock and roll, all those things are fun and feel exciting and feel happy, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about having an ability to manage how we feel. So that's truly what we're all looking for. It's not that I have to be happy. It's how can I manage how I want to feel right now, right? Because I don't want to go to my friend's funeral and be happy. I want to go to my friend's funeral and be present and mindful and sad and the beauty of sad, right? So
I'm so sick of the word present. No, sorry, I had to get that out, though. You're not present. You gotta be present.
That's what we're talking about, though. Being
Well,
able-
make the situation better. Then.
Exactly.
If
You know
the situation was better.
Control it,
You know
manage
what?
it, control it.
It's very
manage it.
simple.
This is
you know?
boring.
Why did the marriage fail? You're not giving me any sex.
You're not trying hard
It's
enough.
very simple.
You couldn't control and manage it. And that's the thing. If we're always looking for an external way or external thing, or if we have to blame the outside world to bring our happiness, then we're not seeking properly, right? We're really looking to be able to manage ourselves. And I always think of like a cat ball, right? I'm not controlling this ball or these balls. I am batting them in a way that I feel comfortable with, that I feel present with, that I feel that I can be my best self in any situation that I want to be in.
Is it all about practice? Like
Practice. We talk about practice.
Practice? We gotta keep talking about practice.
We gotta talk about practice.
Because when I hear all this, it all makes sense to me. Like psychology and stuff is funny. When I was younger, it was hard for me to get behind because I think like just tough it out, you p word.
I want to talk about that too.
Yeah,
I want to
tough it out. I think is very dangerous.
I want to talk about that for 1 second because you were just talking about not knowing you had one foot different than the other, and you were.
Why you got to bring up his disability?
I know because I'm a mean person.
Wow, look
but
at
the
that.
fact that you went through that a long time with having one shoe not comfortable, big or small, like I feel like a lot of men, I'm not going to say men versus women here, but a lot of men are taught that it's manly to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
No, yeah. That's what I think now.
Yeah, that's why I'm currently sitting on a dildo. Just it was a dare.
So you're
that
taught-
makes me tougher, Aimee. What
I
the
know,
hell?
that's the thing though. And so I mentioned it to my husband the other day. He was like laying on a weird pillow and his neck was all weird. And
I'm laying on a razor
and
pillow.
I was like, why are you? I was like, do you want something comfortable? He's like, and I was like, why don't you care? And he's like, I don't care. I was like, why don't you care about making yourself feel better? I don't know, right? Like men are so
that's a great
taught to like feel bad about yourselves, and that's what manhood is.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing you have to deal with.
But,
that
well,
I might not have to deal with.
It's because it used to signify strength,
Sure.
right? Like we all admired and we all looked up to
Backbreaking work.
Yeah, the hard work. We do admire hard work. We do admire the dedication.
But then it
and
manifests into something else of like,
Yeah.
oh, no pain, no gain. Or, oh, I have to feel bad in order to do something good or feel good.
Right.
So always
No
putting-
fear.
No fear.
Write that down. That's good.
Not sponsored,
That's right.
but please sponsor me.
That's really, really good.
Chicken p word.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I love it.
So
I
it
love
goes
so
back
much.
to it's not about being or controlling happiness. It's about, okay, I want to feel this way today. Can I manage that? Or can I identify that I'm feeling tired today? What do I want to do? Do I want to be a jerk to my whole family today or do I not? Right? Because that's ultimately what control ends up being, is you being able to manage yourself in different situations that's difficult for you.
Well, it's your reaction, right? And that's the problem I have. That's the problem I have is controlling my reaction to whatever is happening. Typically, I would say that my reaction to things is usually wrong.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that
According to like you or your family or
I'd say a solid 100%. I'd give
pretty
it
much everywhere.
I'd give it
On the
100%
right-
of America. I'd go, Tom, show me wrong.
Yeah, on the right or wrong scale, we know it is pegged.
I mean, you're on for me, the left side of the room, and Tom and I are on the right. And
Right.
let's just say there's a lot of bad on the right side of this room.
Well, I think that's another part of like being taught through shame too. And so I think when you're coming from a shameful place or a binary yes or no, good or bad, black or white, you're set up to fail as well.
Yes.
So it comes to that like stream again. It's not like one way. Like what's right here isn't right next door or in another country. So it's really understanding that for yourself. And I know everybody hates this, and you're gonna hate when I say this. Improv comedy. If you
Oh my God! Goddamn pool noodles.
I can't do that.
Listen, will you listen to me?
Let's give me a location. Give me a shout out a location.
Listen to
Shout
me.
out a
Listen to
location.
me. Improv comedy and also therapy, all these things kind of connect for me because they're teaching you ways of being and many different and practicing ways of being. And so you can be ready for these different situations. So you can take the time to mentally say, okay, I don't want to be a jerk to my family this morning. I know I'm feeling this way. How do I want to be? And being able to take that time to create the perfect homeostasis space to make you feel the way you need to feel to act how you want to act.
You guys want to do zeep zop zoop? Yeah. Or do you want to do some Meisner technique?
this is.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just stuff that I've
Aimee,
heard.
You got it.
My most
no way.
annoying actor friends
Yeah.
would tell me Zip Zop Zoop and Meisner.
Y'all
and
would love Meisner. Meisner's all about pain.
Explain Meisner to me.
Meisner, so you know the Joker, like the movie The Joker, and how.
What do you mean? The one where they sang?
No, probably the one before that
He
where.
sticks his head out the window. I know that one.
Is that the one where he bathes his mom?
No, I don't know.
That's the best scene in the Joker movie is when he's bathing that old lady.
Like Joaquin Phoenix always talks about being in character, and then being that character and going and doing things as that character. So he can really do that information and all those ways of thinking and being and practice.
Uh-oh, there's our party guest. Oh, who is it? Oh, look, everybody. It's Jerry Seinfeld.
What's the deal with the ego death?
How hard were these directions to this party? It was hard finding parking.
So improv comedy is a way of doing that because you're practicing. Have you guys watched Nathan Fielder's documentary where he?
Is it the airline one?
Yeah, the airline one.
You know, it's it's in my queue. What's it? What's
have
the
to
name
look
of
it up.
it? I do love him. He
yes.
is extremely
It's
talented.
a hard watch. It's a cringe watch for a lot of it because it's uncomfortable. But the whole thing is called I think it's the practice or something. And he's practicing how to act in different.
The rehearsal.
The rehearsal. Thank
you. Thank you, Chad Rib.
Thank you. He's acting and he's practicing all these different ways of thinking and being. And then by the end, I'm not going to spoil it, but you're able to really figure out how you want to be in those situations.
So when you say he's practicing, is he practicing what he wants his personality to be to other people?
Or is he
like
just
hiding
executing different ways to handle the scenario?
All the above. He does it
Okay.
with a lot of different people. And the way he does it isn't super ethical all the time. And you can't do it necessarily in therapy. But
Would he have his penis out? Because I do that a lot.
Yeah, probably.
It's not ethical either. to do
No,
that.
there's a right or wrong with that for sure.
Yeah.
But there's a way for you to be able to do that safely or even in your brain. Like when you think of sports stars, like when sports people go out and you can tell I don't watch sports, but I watch sports documentaries. The sports people will go through their head a play. We talked about this before.
Yeah,
Same
visualizing.
thing, visualizing it. So you can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, this, I know when I go to this person's house, I don't like their pee smell, right? And their house and their carpet smells like pee, but I don't want to be a jerk about that. Let me run through that in my brain.
I like putting my shirt over my nose. I like when
your kid is doing that move where it's the two-finger pinch on the top of or put a clothespin on. That's a classic. Clothespin is a classic.
I
kids
walk
will lie.
into my wife's friend's house, and then I just put my shirt over my nose and sit there the whole time. And then I'm like,
And that might be
Stinks.
it, though. If you're close to that person, then in your brain, you'll work that out, too. You'll be like, okay, maybe I need to talk to my friend about this because this is affecting our friendship, right? So just even spending that extra minute thinking through those things can help you understand how you feel.
I think I'm doing a version of this now without not even knowing it. I'm reading that book, Let Them.
Yeah.
And the let them theory,
Mm-hmm.
which is, but it's funny because they kind of do the let them thing
Right.
up front. And then as the book kind of unfolds, you realize that the let them is just the pause. The idea of it, short of the long, is somebody's doing something you don't like. Let's say you're standing in line and somebody's got 25 items in the 10 items or less. And, that's a hot topic here. And I'm standing there and instead of getting mad about it, it's more of the pause to say, like, let them. And then the next part you're supposed to say is let me. And that's the deciding how are you going to react to this? And that is something I think I need because I'm very reactionary. Somebody's got 25 items there. I'll just walk up, look at it, hate it, sigh, turn around, look at the person behind me, look at this person, shoot them a look. It's like, that's dumb. That's a waste of energy. It's stupid. You don't need to do that.
Aimee, what happens when you yourself think there's nothing that needs to be fixed about you?
Well, you're done.
But then
You're done.
But then
Right.
everybody around is like, no, there's a lot.
Right.
And then you're like, I don't believe it.
Right.
What happens then?
Well, there's a lot there that we can dig into. I mean, that's great because you have a high self-esteem, so you feel good about yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And so I guess it's just really pinpointing, like, why they feel that way about you.
But what if you know,
Uh-huh.
if you really, like, you have a high self-esteem, but you know you're not, it's not true.
I have a lot of that too. Yeah,
You
yeah.
could
Like,
be-
you think you're like, but you know, you're like, oh, this is definitely broken. But I think, I really
But
do
you don't
think it's
want to
fine.
change it. It's broken, but you don't want to change it.
Yeah, I guess,
I guess that's the question.
I don't know.
Like,
I'm
if
so
you don't want to,
lazy.
like, what do we want to change here? Do you want to change how you're feeling about it? Like, if you feel good and you feel happy, and are you hurting anybody?
Oh, yeah.
I was waiting to see.
So we have to get so
I don't know.
It's his favorite part
That's
is the
on them.
hurt.
Right, and that's
Yeah.
the hurt and the pain
Yeah.
of those two things together. And so, are you getting off on that? Right?
Oh, I don't think he's getting off on it. Maybe he is. My God.
I never thought about that.
You're masturbating to hurting.
Or are you getting that dopamine because your brain doesn't know what kind of dopamine it's getting, whether you're getting a rise out
True.
of somebody by being a jerk or by being nice. Your brain doesn't really know that. And then there's these other parts of like, are you dealing with some narcissistic things of, your ego being higher and more important than other people's? You know what I mean? So it's like, that's where that ego death comes back around is like, okay, yeah, like I feel okay about myself, but how is it affecting the general world? Because if you're like that, and many like leaders are like that, think about how those leaders treat the rest of the world at, they do all these things.
They're eating the dog.
They are ruining things for everybody. So there's that mentality.
Yeah.
Like,
Now we don't have anybody eating the dog. Great job, everybody.
And you can't have everybody like that. So it's like, it's understanding if you are truly hurting somebody, then understanding what's that doing for you and how is that, what can I do to make sure that I'm not doing that anymore? And why do I have to do that? Right? Understanding that why, I think, is the first step to that.
You know, if I found out someone was eating the neighborhood cats that are running over this, I would be that. I'd be like, all right,
I'd be more intrigued than upset with them.
I mean, if they need them.
Yeah.
taking care of a problem.
I'm gonna say, can I say something? Be
I feel
real.
bad.
I know it's a comedy show, and we try to be funny. But I need to say something serious.
No.
Since I was a child, if you had an outdoor cat, that's a roll of the dice, dog. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Like
the
you're gonna eat it?
coyotes.
I've always
are-
believed that as a Florida man. And I am born and raised.
Yeah.
I have always thought, my dad felt this way too. Indoor cat, that's different.
Right.
But if you have an outdoor cat, even with a collar, if a coyote comes a rolling,
I was like, are you Alf? What are you doing?
no. If Alf comes and eats your
Alf comes
cat,
and eats your
sorry, it
cat.
was an outdoor cat. That's a roll of the dice, man.
Yeah, it's true.
I
It's
got
true.
one that I remember because when I knew you were coming, I'm like, ask Aimee about this problem,
Yeah.
ask Aimee about this problem.
I wanted to talk about the let them theory, but you kind of did a really nicer job ahead of that of
Well, we
something more sophisticated than what I even wanted to bring up.
So, Aimee, have you dealt with people that have extreme fear of disappointing other people?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I have that.
Yes.
Where it actually stops me and if I'm honest, it probably hinders this business to a certain extent because sometimes I'm like, I won't like do an event or like I'll be hesitant to do something unless it's really perfect, unless I think that everybody there is going to have a good time. Like I fear inviting our listeners to an event
to something that's crap.
and
Yeah,
then
I get it.
and then our listeners like not that good, or even it could be free. It could be it's not even like like charging a ticket. I have to justify it. It's like a free thing, and people are like not that good. Like that, I'm like,
It
oh
really
God,
has nothing to do with price or
disappointed 'em.
anything. Honestly,
Has
there have
nothing to
been
do with what?
It has nothing to do with price or anything like that. It has to do with like presenting something and then it being a pile of crap or just not being.
But even if it's not like obviously
disappointing.
it's
Right.
it's at a fine venue. Like anybody, if you were honest about it and like realistic, you would say like, oh, it's fine. Like the listeners
Right.
came. and
But
hang
you
out with
don't want fine.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm afraid that someone's gonna be like, what else is there? What is? Oh, I thought this was gonna be
Yeah.
better or something. And then that goes with everything in my life. My kids, my wife, anybody, or my friends, where I was like, I don't want to disappoint them.
Yeah.
And I think it's driven my entire existence. Where I started looking some days, I'm like, if I've lived my whole life just to not disappoint people,
Wow.
like
That's a bold thing to say on the show.
and then I laugh at it because I'm like, who cares?
Yeah,
Well,
no, I get it.
I totally identify with that too. There's lots of levels there. But one of the things too, we were just talking about is like, if we're looking externally for us to be soothed inside, it's never going to be satisfied.
Okay.
So thinking that, okay, that what I can do more, I can have more, I can be more, and then I'm
Ooh,
gonna
I can be more. That's a huge one for you. Because
Right.
you seemingly have endless energy and drive, but I've told you even before you don't, because you're only one dude. I mean, you're extraordinary with what you do, but
looking
I am not.
outside to soothe the inside, that's always going to be a failed error, right? Because like if you're always like looking to to please this person, to please that person, whatever, like it's never going to be enough. So instead of looking outward, we truly do have to go inward and learn how to self-regulate and self-soothe first.
I'm so bad at that.
Me too. I'm
My
terrible.
coping
I'm terrible.
skills are like a 2%.
It's so hard.
Real bad.
It's so hard because if you're, and I think in America it's really hard because we have access to everything all the time. We have our phones, we have our friends, we have our food, we have our alcohol, right? And so we're used to saying, oh, if I have this, I'll feel good. If I do this for this person, I'll feel great. Right? And then when you've tried so hard and you still get a critique or a comment, then it's like, ugh. It's so fragile. It's a fragile ego because you can't handle it because it's always like moving. So if you can find a way to do it inward and really do that inner work first and you start from here, then it allows you to build versus always seeking.
So hard.
It's really hard.
It is. Like right now.
Because then you tell me you can't do it, Aimee, then I'm like, I'll never be able to do it. If Aimee can't do it, then I'll never be able to do it.
Well, maybe this is a good follow-up question.
Yeah.
Is it that finite?
No.
It's always a practice, right? It's like jujitsu. It's like I don't think you ever master it.
No,
I think
it's
you
like
just get,
improv comedy. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
I think you just get better at you know what?
Jiu-jitsu, I can get behind.
Yeah.
Right.
Improv.
But this is mental
same
jujitsu, and I hate
thing.
saying that because that sounds like some stupid
That's
poster.
exactly-
The mental jujitsu.
Yeah,
But
that
you,
was
you
gay.
got exactly what I was gonna say is that
Hey, you want to do some gay mental jujitsu?
yes, I do. That sounds
where
very
we put
fun.
them together.
If you really make your dojo, your castle,
Oh, stop doing it. I'll kick you out of here.
if you make your casa, whatever, that's the worst. If you make your inner workings really strong, and then you build from there, then you're able to work from a place that isn't fear.
Damn.
God, I love fear as a motivation.
Me too.
Yeah.
That dopamine again. That dopamine.
Fear
that
of
you-
failure.
But you're using the fear constantly
Fear of
because
disappointment.
you're afraid of disappointing people. It's like, no, honestly, you and I are motivated by fear. There is a fear that we are going to disappoint
Freem.
our BDS.
Yeah.
Freem. Fear rules everything around me.
No fear, no fear.
Yeah.
No, and it is. It's exciting, and that's why we go into this business. That's why I do stand-up comedy. I love to fail and then get up from that, right? So, but the thing is the stronger that I get mentally and emotionally, the more I can handle that, and then I'm able to maneuver like that cat ball, not control, because I can't control every situation. I never will be able to. So letting go of that, and then also.
Let them.
What's that?
That's the let them.
Some of that, yes, it's like that ebb and flow of, okay, what can I control? Like when you're a substance user, like I am, or I was, it's like, what can I control and what can I not control? Or what can I manage? I don't like the word control. What can I manage today? And that's good. That's not good enough. That's very good that I got up today. I was able to do this. I was able to, and like really finding joy in those tiny little things and getting oxytocin because.
Oh, I thought you were saying Oxycontin. We're so close. Me and Tom were like, yeah.
I was like, we love Oxycontin. Right?
Did you see us both lean in?
Me too.
I had the camera on you, and we both leaned in. We're like, yeah.
Oxytocin, which is the longer form of the
Tosin,
happy,
we talk
happy
about
stuff up
tosin.
there. So the short stuff is the short bursts are the serotonin and the dopamine that we're always looking for.
Yeah.
The oxytocin is the longer, more controlled, more, and so you want all of those things to be in balance within you, and that comes to how you deal with what you're building in your body, in your brain, in your environment.
God, do they make oxytocin pills?
Hey,
Yeah,
let's do that.
what-
Can you
Yeah.
smoke oxytocin?
Yeah, probably.
How about a-
yes.
Oh, you're smoking on tinfoil.
How about a vape? I want to go to they're like, this vape is 86% oxytocin.
Yes.
Like, that's a good strand.
I mean, pretty much all substances work the same in your brain anyway. So yes, like any drugs that you're doing are doing it, but then it will deplete it and you didn't work for it and then it'll get harder to work. So again, you like figuring that out inside yourself is always going to be a longer lasting everything.
Gotcha.
I like when you burn the oxytocin on tinfoil and then you smoke it through a straw.
Yeah,
And then
glass straw.
I love it.
Yeah.
and you're like, there's got to be a easier way to
glass
do
pipe.
this.
There is no easier
Duh.
way. It's the same thing with dabs. I'm like, do you have to use a blowtorch at your kitchen table? They're like, yeah, this is the only way to do it.
There's got to be a better way.
I'm like, yeah, but your daughter is literally in the other room playing Roblox. I'm sorry, this is the way we have to use the blowtorch.
It's just weed. It's just like, this is real
Yeah.
drugs, sir.
Aimee LeCours, is going to be
You're the
hosting
best.
S Sandwich July 19th. It's every first and third Saturday at the Bull and Bush.
Great date night. Great place to go. Great place to go and get a pint, tip your bartenders.
Yep.
And great place to see great comedy.
Yeah.
Aimee, thanks so much for coming by.
having
We
me.
appreciate it. And you can follow Aimee on all her social media. Throw your social media out there.
AIMEELECOURS on Instagram, TikTok, all those good places.
There you go.
Yay.
Awesome. And we'll see you on Monday.
Yay.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. On Zoom with us right now, old friend of ours that is kind of pivotal to the start of TnD Media and the start of our business.
Absolutely. This guy was putting money in our pocket, man.
On Zoom right now is our friend Jeff Pauly. How you doing, Jeff?
Hey guys, I'm doing pretty good.
Good to see you, man. So we're going to have to do a little bit of legwork to bring the audience up to speed on how we know Jeff and how this all happened, because for a hot minute, we were doing some stuff.
So when we first left corporate radio, and me and Daniel started TnD Media, it took us a minute to build up the actual business that as we know it now, with advertisers and subscribers and BDMs.
I know you look around at the sprawling hill we've created
We
here.
started with BDMs, obviously. That was the base of our business. And then the advertisers came slowly, but it took a while to build up enough money to be able to pay ourselves a salary and live. So we needed ancillary ways to make money. And of course, like Mo DeWitt was one of our first customers when he hired us to do some video work. And Daniel literally filmed Mo DeWitt's mom at the time. This was, God.
Well, I mean, I wasn't just filming his mom. That sounds like, what the hell is wrong with you? You make me sound like some sort of goddamn creepo. You make me sound like literally he was standing in the bushes filming Mo DeWitt's mom. Melissa, I need you to mark this. This guy, and I think he's actively doing this on purpose to get me. This is how they get you.
No.
We were
filming
doing
law
with
videos.
Our biggest clients, Mom.
No, she was
I'm the old
a
mom
senior
filmer.
In law.
She's not a senior.
No.
She's not that old. You are digging holes left. He just called her an old lady.
No.
So now I'm
the
obsessed
senior
with
attorney in the DeWitt law. She started the DeWitt law firm.
She's Supreme Court level, my friend.
No, I know. Yeah.
Supreme Court level.
Okay, sorry.
That was a mess. We're gonna have to. You know what? After we get off the line with you, we're gonna have to clean that up. But anyway, you're right. We'll clean it up.
We're doing
so many inappropriate jokes.
We'll clean it up.
Website videos.
I'm sorry. No, I was not doing.
No.
We'll clean it up.
From the website. It was before Just Call Mo. Anyway. So then we were trying to do anything that we can do to make money, and me and Daniel, we don't have that many skills.
Don't say that either. We were doing anything for money. What is wrong with you?
Not anything, but anything we knew how to do. Well, all we knew how to do was this, and then we were like, but we are, and
we're good writers. We know how to write a commercial. We've been writing commercials for real radio for, I had been doing it for almost 2 decades, or a decade, at least a decade.
And then so me and Daniel are like, okay, we're creative together. We can be creative, which I didn't know people would pay for.
We can film people's moms.
I used to discount the ability to be creative and write something creative, as.
But now you realize how many people can't do it.
So yeah, I think back then I was like, well, everybody is just making stuff up.
Yeah. You do that a lot with things you don't know about, though. You're like, well, everybody knows how to do it.
And Tom, that's the exact reason I reached out to you, is because I couldn't do it, and I knew that I couldn't do it. So when you guys left Real Radio and I was in the corporate world doing videos for clients that didn't have the huge budget, I was like, well, how am I going to make this funny? And what am I going to do? And I immediately thought of you guys and figured that we could have a mutually beneficial relationship.
That's almost exactly what you said on the phone. I'm glad that you said it I'm glad somebody here has a memory, because when Tom told me you were coming on today, I was like, who? No, I'm kidding. That's not true.
And so,
that is exactly what you said to us. Exactly.
So this is a funny story. So then Jeff came to us. One of his clients was a big furniture company. I won't mention the name because of what
And I want to so bad, because I love doxing people.
But it's a big furniture company. They were doing
like big hotelier furniture company, not necessarily stuff you'd put in your house, but big beautiful, industrial, will last a very long time.
Yeah, like
crafted furniture, handcrafted furniture for nice hotels.
You put it in like a Marriott, and like the Marriott's across the country, so like huge deal. Like you have a bench in the Marriott lobby, and you're making 250 of them, but super commercial,
super high end.
Anyway, so they were doing a conference, and they're like, and Jeff's like, hey, can you think of some sort of song that you could write so they could play it at the conference? And then we went with Bruno Mars,
Uptown Funk,
and it's funny because
we did Uptown Furniture Gonna Give It to You.
Yeah, because 15 years ago, like people had to pay like good money. Like I remember,
this is an armoire, and this is a couch, and this is.
Yeah, I know. In today's world, I could AI that thing.
No, 100% for free. Yeah,
Jeff, you remember
15 minutes for 15 seconds.
It's gonna blow people's minds to know that not only did we buy a commercially usable backing track, we got a tenor from the boy band in Orlando, formerly known as C Note. I forget this guy's name. No, this is a real boy band. Look up C Note. We're not messing around here. And we had this guy come in. Meanwhile, my baby and my mom are upstairs. My mom's coming down with her no bra on, her boobs are swinging around. She's holding the baby.
C-Note thought that
C-Note thought I live with my mom. See, the gentleman from the boy band C-Note who sang on our Uptown Furniture Gonna Give It to You song.
He nailed it.
Yeah, and he did a great job, but that was and we got paid pretty handsomely for writing and producing and getting you this song. And then didn't they use it at a conference or something?
Oh yeah, we did that particular project because we did several for them, right? That particular project, I actually hired a flash mob, and we choreographed a flash mob to that song, and then we did that at the convention, and then did a new video of the flash mob going off.
And then all the furniture nerds went nuts.
Yeah. I mean, and by the way, this is a huge industry, and like big corporations will pay
closed circuit comedy for just conventions.
Jeff, I wanted to pretend that I was professional, and I did this all the time when I was working with you back then, but I could not believe how much money you paid us for that. Like I was like, oh my god! Like, and it's not even that much. It was like $1,500, but at the time, I'm used to radio money. Like I had to pay $300 to sit out at a gas station for take a full day. I drive out to Claremont.
Nobody lives out here.
When I started in production, I started in like live engineering, and I was on tour with a bunch of old rap acts. Like my first ever tour was with Dougie Fresh, Slick Rick, and Biz Markie.
Wow.
And like I was on tour, and I knew about the corporate world, but after about 18 months, 2 years of touring, I was like, I'm going back to the corporate world, because the common reference is half the work, twice the pay. And that's exactly the moniker. I mean, it makes perfect sense. Like, so when I fell into the corporate world, I felt the same way. I was like, oh my God, like they're paying me how much to do this job, and I love doing it. So
And what we found, and I'll be careful here because I know you don't want me to give up any of the people we're writing for.
I don't care. I mean, I'll do it. And we'll never work with them again, I don't think. I mean, will.
Hey, I'd love to, because they got the money. I'll tell you right now, if they need some stupid song written for their dumb conference, I'm your man, because they did have the correct change. But what I did find interesting about a lot of the stuff that we were doing for this for these conferences, because a lot of them revolved around a specific industry, whether it be furniture people or carpet people going to a carpet convention or going to a furniture convention, right? So we were the guys that would add some sort of entertainment to that. And what I liked about doing that for Jeff and when we would come together is these guys didn't want it squeaky clean. And that kind of blew Tom and I's minds. They wanted it like they wanted some raunchy joke. Give us a little.
That's what I sold them on.
Yeah.
I sold, because I was I was working in production, and I was in all these boring meetings, and I was watching all these boring videos. And I knew the budgets of these videos, and I was like, wait, they're playing these videos for like 5, 6, 7 minutes, and no one's watching. And everybody's got a hangover, and they're all like, heads on the table or knee deep in powdered eggs. And like, I would start selling clients on, I'm not going to say what I would actually say, but I'd tell them I sold them a what the hell moment. And that means at the end of the video, you watched it and your prospective client says, what the hell did I just watch? Good or bad, it was memorable. And that's what I was looking for.
Yeah, that was us. We
specialize in confusing what the hell is this?
You're like, I know the guys. You need confusing what the hell moments? I got two guys.
When you see at the end of this, you'll look around and say, is this good?
My favorite guys is the carpet video that we did, because it is a full-on Hanna-Barbera style stoner cartoon.
Yeah, it's okay, I'll break it down. I was looking for it earlier, I couldn't find it, but the cartoon is, and we wrote it, and then and Swervy Jones animated it, and you and I did the voices, and Jeff facilitated everything, put it all together.
Yeah.
And it was a rug talking to a carpet about how you were the bad carpet and you felt inferior because you
I was at a therapist.
Yeah, and I was a therapist and I talked like this and I was like, you feel very inferior because you're not a. And then there was a specific carpet company's name.
I didn't want to do it. And then after it was done, I was like, oh, who's gonna pay us $1,500?
And you hated your part because Tom was like, hey, Doc, you gotta help me. I feel very inferior. And then you're like, is that good? I was like, yeah, this is great. You're like, you're making me sound like a goddamn idiot. And then you saw the money.
I'm like, no one will pay for this. And then they paid and they liked it. I was like, I can't believe they like it.
I think they loved it because this connects the dots. And Jeff was part of this and you were part of this. We did such a good job on that cartoon that was the door opening for you getting the carpet printed in the studio. That's why the carpet got printed, is because they liked the stupid video we did. That's why. Because they don't print small batch carpet. That's not what they do.
I know, yeah.
That was part of the deal. Like, after we did the deal, I worked with you guys to get that landed down, and you got that.
And they're out of Georgia, and they're great people, and it's American made. But that's a fun time. I have very fond memories of doing this work. It was hard, though.
But the point is, it was the beginning of our business, and Jeff helped facilitate some new clients.
Thank you, buddy.
And that helped us really springboard. It gave us extra money that we can continue, because we needed time. You need to buy ourselves some time until we build it.
It gave us confidence, I think, too, in the idea that we could go away from something we had done, do something else, deliver it, and then get paid. Because once you do that, you're like, oh, okay, I can do something else. Well, and I think we needed to do that.
We always undervalued ourselves because we work for a giant corporation that would, we'd essentially get paid hourly for all this content that we'd make. And then we realized, this is actually more valuable than we thought. Yeah. Being funny or being creative is a skill that maybe not or at least big companies will pay for.
And one more thing I'll add on here that it was weird for you and I. It was really weird when we'd send the video out and Jeff would get it and he'd go, oh, I love it. I'm going to send it to them. I'll CC you on it. And then he'd send it out. And then we'd get back. Now, this is something you and I'd never had, but we would literally get back compliments or people saying, you know what? Great job, guy. And we're like, this is a freaking first. It almost made us feel like we made the right decision. You know what I mean?
I'm like, I think we're scamming them. This is not worth in my mind.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Anyway, so let's get to you, Jeff.
Yeah.
So obviously you worked in the corporate world for a while, and this is kind of why we have Jeff on, because he's got an interesting story to tell about going from the corporate world and into something completely different, even moving out of the country.
Haven't you done this a couple times? Because when I met you, I thought you were like a Florida guy, and then at one point you were like, nope, I live in Colorado, and I just live in a hot tub. And it was like, and every time we talked to you, you were like, you were in the mountains in a hot tub, and I'm like, this guy's living the dream.
Look, I don't, I always tell people I've never been one to go backwards. So when something, it doesn't work, I just move on. And, I was Colorado. I was there for a long time. And then I went to Ventura, California, and I was actually in Ventura, California when COVID hit. Oh. And, I was in the production business doing meetings and doing videos and even doing a lot of podcast stuff, and that all ceased to exist, the day the lockdown started. And then, I had a band in LA, and I'd always been that, I consider myself like a mediocre punk rocker, like cosplayer, really serious about it, spend massive amounts of money and received absolutely no recognition or anything like that. But it wasn't about that. It was about getting in a room together with 3 other of my friends once a week and having some beers and whatnot. And, you know, I've been playing guitar for a long time, and with COVID upending my life, I picked up acoustic guitars and kind of like fell in love with the instrument more than the punk rock hardcore stuff that I was doing. And, cooked up an idea to go to Ireland and then like be that old guy in pubs wearing a wool sweater, smoking a pipe and playing my guitar. Yeah, that's what I did for a couple of years.
I like the idea of you drawing the dream. You're like, okay, I'm going to go there, guitar, pipe, sweater. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to play. And then you go and you execute it. I mean, that's top tier level dream checking.
None of that happened.
By the way, Jeff, if I knew you were into cosplay, I would have never done business with you.
He doesn't trust cosplayers. Yeah.
I'm joking. So now, what made you decide Ireland? Like, that's a
beautiful place, Tom.
Yeah, it's beautiful, but it's like you don't have any contacts there, or do you have?
Yeah, that for me, I have a long story of travel. My father was in the military. My mother was Irish.
There you go.
I have family in Ireland, and then not only that, but I took my citizenship when I was pretty young because I was a pretty serious competitive swimmer, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
And yeah, with like Olympic aspirations. So I had taken my citizenship for that. And so I had friends in the south of Ireland, and I had my family in the north of Ireland. And I actually didn't even plan to move there. I had booked a month-long trip to see a bunch of people after COVID. And when I got there, I was like, well, I'm just going to stay and see if I can make this work. And I found a little tiny place to live. And, you know, there's some things are more expensive, but cost of living is just insanely cheaper. And I lived over there for 2 years on what would probably cost me 6 months to live here. So,
Jesus.
Yeah. So it gave me, you know, it afforded me an opportunity. I was playing in pubs. I was actually making money and, you know, teaching guitar lessons and whatnot. And I looked at it as putting myself through a new education because it was something that I've never done before. I was never really a songwriter. I was never really a singer. I was never really a guitar player. Like, I just decided that I was going to try to figure out how to do all three at the same time, and hopefully I did okay.
Well, I mean, like, you have a guitar on your back currently, so I would imagine that you're not just just don't walk around with that. You know, I mean, like, you're doing it. So
yeah.
There is something to be said about the execution of the dream. I think most people don't get maybe they don't even get to the execution part.
That's the big thing. You know, like, you know, I'm torn on my playing and what I can show people and whatnot. But at the same time, like, people are like, oh, I wish I could do what you do. And I try to tell them you can 100%. It's just a matter of the execution and putting in the time and the work. And, you know, obviously people are creative, and that talent is something that you need to work on too. But both of them kind of all work together. And then once you kind of find that dedication, for me, it was pretty easy. I mean, when I first got to Ireland, I locked myself in my little tiny place for like 6 months and practiced like 10 hours a day. I would do like 45 minutes on and like 30 minutes off, just over and over and over and over again. And
now some would say that that's what a crazy person does.
Well, that's what it takes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what it takes.
I saw a quote the other day and it was you know, beginners practice until they get it right. Professionals practice until they get it wrong. And I like that quote.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
practice is everything, man.
If you have an obsession about something, and obsession sometimes is looked at negatively, like, oh, this person's obsessed with
like
this.
my obsession with people's mothers and filming them.
And filming them.
I am obsessed with filming people's moms.
And it's like, well, that's that obsession, that addiction to either learn something or get better at something or whatever. Like, that's what it takes to do this, to go from
you gotta have that inside of you.
You want to become a really good guitarist and vocalist, and you're not that good now, and you want to do it in a short period of time, or you lock yourself in a room for 6 months and then you practice 10 hours a day. Yeah. And without that, you'll never, you know, become good or accomplish your goal at least fast.
I've never found, other than Dax Prescott going under to get his tattoos done, I have never found a replacement for time spent. You know what I mean? Like that's a joke, but I mean, what I'm saying is, I have never seen like I'm a drummer. I've never seen
a shortcut.
Yeah. No, there are no shortcuts. I know drummers that are really good. Fred from DeLand, I won't say his last name because he plays around here and plays cruise ships. But the guy's like a Neil Peart level drummer, and even now in his 50s, he's like Jeff said, he still practices a ton to get better and stay better.
So Jeff, you're playing in Ireland. You're playing in these small pubs, and when do you start questioning whether you should continue to do this? Did you at one time think this was going to be the rest of your life? What's your mindset?
I questioned it from day one. I was like, oh my God, I'm so stupid for doing this. But no, I had, like I said, I had these ideals and I had these visions and thoughts, and it was going to be this amazing thing, and I was going to stay there for the rest of my life, or think about it at least. And when I got there, one thing or another, it just wasn't what I expected it was, and it especially, I don't want to slag on the particular country, but where I ended up and being in the northern of Ireland, it was it's a place that's gone through a lot of things, and like a lot of people tell you, oh, it's much better there now, and sure, but not really. And
is Northern Ireland more Dairy Girls style?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Well, if you ever watch that show, like, there was a lot of war there. I mean, like the people are tough and hard.
No,
and,
yeah.
And they're very and they're old people and they're rooted, and it is it is tradition on tradition on tradition.
There's like war and bombing. Remember like the IRA? There was bombings.
Yeah, they
all
cover
the
that
time.
in Dairy Girls. Did you ever watch Dairy Girls?
No.
Good ass show, man.
And it's funny because I'm not even exactly sure why that was happening.
No, Jeff, did you ever dig into
old.
that at all, or were you just like, this is these people have suffered some, and this is hard?
Well, again, so my relatives live in the Northern Ireland, and they grew up in what's called the Troubles, and like my mom grew up in what's called the Troubles, and so it's something that affected my family my whole life, I guess. And even when I got there, they were the ones that convinced me to live in the North, and they were like, oh, it's so much better, it's so much better, it's so much better. And even being around them, I could tell that the effects are still widely there, and it's just weird to drive by a building and see a mural of like pro-British militants killing Irish people, and then vice versa on the other end. It's just I've been going there my whole life, and it was obviously way, way worse in the 90s when I would visit, but it's still pretty prevalent.
So Jeff, when did you make the decision to move back to the States, and what was the breaking point? I moved to my little tiny town in Ireland, my cheap one, and I kind of outgrew that, and I knew that I needed to move to a bigger city. So I chose to move to Belfast, and I was in Belfast for a year, and I was playing the pubs there and slugging it out. And every day if it wasn't raining, I would go into town center and I would busk on the corner street and, make 75 to 100 euro a day during that, or pounds during that. And then I would haul home and eat a quick dinner and then play a 8 to 10 p.m. gig. And, I called it playing the Irish set list, and it was or the Irish playlist. It was literally almost a Spotify playlist that we were supposed to play, and it was all the normal standards and then some Irish songs and mixed in and everything like that. And I wasn't that good at it, for one thing, because I'm not really an artist that can replicate that well. I don't really. When I hear a song and I try to play it as a cover, I always make it my own. And that's not really what they were looking for. And it certainly wasn't what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Where some guys they can do that. They're amazing. They can walk in and they can play it note for note, beat for beat, pitch for pitch, and that's just not who I am. I always want to put my own little flavor into it. So I was not as happy as I wanted to be, you know?
Yeah.
I get knocked down. I get up again.
Yeah, that's a good one. You're on the board.
Yeah. That's what they want, Jeff.
Yeah.
Just give them what they want.
Just give them the Billy O.T., right? That's what my daughter's like, but a Billy O.T. Like, okay, that's good. There once was a lass with a big fat ass. Like, I don't know, write some dumb song and get up there.
Did they like American, like, song?
If I have to play Tennessee Whiskey one more time, I might.
It's a great song.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a great song. You should do
that.
Do the David Allen Coe version and then sprinkle the N-word at the end instead of the Chris Stapleton version.
One thing is hard. It's a good song, but it's so incredibly hard to sing. And Chris Stapleton does an amazing job.
Yeah, because he can sing.
Not many other people do a great job, especially me. And I'm like, oh man, I gotta slug through this.
Go listen to the David Allen Coe version. I'm not a big fan of the man, but his version of Tennessee Whiskey, some people like it. I'm not a fan of that guy, but some people like it.
So essentially, Jeff, you're telling me it's wearing on you the grind of this lifestyle.
It's hard.
The grind of that lifestyle. I missed production. I missed, when I was before COVID, I was working in production and flying pretty much 2 or 3 times a month, at least, to an event and doing an event and then flying home. And, for me, the repetition of being, I was playing, when I was in Belfast, I was playing at least 6 nights a week, if not 7.
Wow, dude, that's hard too on your voice.
Yeah.
And the hours are rough, but you're making enough money, right? I mean, you're doing okay. And then you just decide, I'm in Belfast. I'm working really hard. Maybe you just jump on a plane, grab all your stuff, and get the hell out. How do you decide to leave? Yeah, really? Do you pack it all up or do you leave stuff? Because that's the stuff I'm fascinated with. There is a level of stuff that I own that I am in a prison. And I can never leave Andrea, Maisie, nothing. I can't leave the studio. Look at everything around me. I can't leave this.
But you just
just to get on a plane and leave? I dream of that, but I'm locked in this prison.
So, when I went, I had already kind of purged myself because, I was in San Francisco for most of lockdown, and I took some of my savings and I bought an RV and I went down to Mexico and I was so naive about the whole singing thing.
How do you find time to do all of this stuff?
He's a wandering man.
Yeah, I could barely drive to Daytona to go to the flea market for fun.
Well, this is the benefits of having no family. No offense, Jeff. You can just get up and leave. Like we said, we're in a prison. You understand? We can't just get up, buy an RV to go to Mexico. We want to.
It's as foreign to me as like getting up off the toilet and not wiping your ass. Just leaving. You're just like, oh, I did it. I'm out.
It makes life a lot easier to not have a whole lot of ties,
Yeah. It's awesome.
And you find yourself purging yourself anyway. Like I'm not sentimental. I literally have 2 guitars that I play. I used to be a collector when I was in punk rock bands. I bought all kinds of Gibsons and whatnot and sold them and bought them and sold them. But now I've stripped my life entirely down to where especially when I was in Ireland, because it was so important for me to not
cut your life into pieces. It was your last resort.
I'll play that
one. In Ireland, I wanted it to make all the money there and not spend any of my savings per month. And so I cut everything out of my life. Like I started scrimping, saving. And, when I picked a place to live, it wasn't the crazy good place that I would maybe normally be accustomed to. It was just, kind of more run of the mill and clean and everything like that, but it was affordable. And, and that's what I've done here too. Like when I got back and even when I took a job, I was just like, well, I just don't need things.
Now, a lot of people don't know this and they can't tell by your surroundings, but I'm going to go live on the phone. He is in Alligator Alcatraz right now. Right? Isn't that where you're live from Alligator Tom? Is that where you told me that Jeff is currently, you're a guard there now. You play music for some of the sad
big bonuses.
So Jeff, tell us about the decision. Okay, you're to move back, and all this time has probably made you a really good guitarist, probably a way
I
better
hope he says
singer.
no.
By the way, we're going to have you play something at the end. I mean, just for comedy, I hope it's horrible.
Just say it again.
No, never mind.
No. Me and Daniel like when things get ruined.
Yeah, we like it when things go off the rails.
No, but when you like all this playing though must have made you a really good guitarist, right?
I like to think so. You know, and yeah, man, I've been like my favorite thing to do is sit outside. Like if I want to recreation and it's nice outside, I'm going to take my guitar and find a bench somewhere and play for hours. So, you know, that comes with benefits, right? Like the more I play, the better but again, that quote, professionals play until they get wrong, or can't get wrong. And that's kind of how I like to look at my playing. And, you know, I've adapted a kind of a weird finger style that not a whole lot of people.
Yeah, you use your
on.
penis for the top E string, right? That's an unconventional
Come on.
start.
Yeah, well, it hooks up perfectly. So
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you got it, flaunt it.
Jeff, let's plug your gig you got coming up in Tampa because Jeff is performing in Tampa, and then
Yeah, I was going to ask. I didn't even know he was local. So where are you at now? Yeah, where'd you land?
well, I'm not local. I'm actually in North Carolina. I live in Moxville, North Carolina, near Charlotte. But I decided to come down to Tampa because I'm playing. And I booked a show with an old punk rock buddy of mine. He's a local punk rock legend. His name is Jeff Brower. He's an amazing artist. He's been in some amazing bands that would be the Gainesville and Tampa punk rock scene. And I just, you know, I came back from Ireland and I was playing all those covers and I wrote a record in this past year that I've been back. And I figured I wanted to debut it in a place that was special to me. And, you know, growing up and going to high school in Tampa and living there for a long time, I have a lot of friends there. And I figured that that would be a good place. So it's on the 27th at Deviant Libation.
Nice, man.
Okay, say that one more time. The 27th, July 27th.
27th. It's at a place called Deviant Libation.
Oh, Deviant Libation.
Yeah, Deviant to Libation.
And it starts at 4:00.
Love
It's
it.
like an afternoon type thing.
Now, Jeff, before you play something, because we got to have you play something.
Yeah.
And you said you'd talk about anything, and I don't mean to bring this up.
Well, I don't even know where you're going.
But you brought it up to me. Just give me the nod if you're like.
Just say you don't want to talk about it.
I brought it up to you because I'm willing to talk about it. I know that you would want to hear about it.
I do want to hear about it because I've had fantasies of this every time I am in some sort of
I have no
therapy
idea what
scenario.
you're talking about.
Well,
This is going to take a turn.
Okay, I like turns, Jeff.
all right. Well, Jeff said to me while we were catching up when he called, I'm like, oh, Jeff Pauly texted me.
Yeah.
And then you were here
Yeah,
when I was talking
editing,
to
yeah.
And then Jeff told me kind of about like what we're talking about now, going to Ireland, learning, how to play in different pubs and teaching himself how to play guitar and sing. And then you also mentioned you're like, I was also sexually abused by my therapist. Or like, then I was like,
Why are you laughing at that? Why are you laughing at that? I was also sexually abused by my therapist.
No, I'm laughing because I think the stereotype for a lot of guys out there.
That's the Tony Soprano. That's the Melfi. That's the Dr. Melfi.
Well, I mean, if you're going to ask about it, when it first happened, that's exactly what I thought too. I was like, oh my God, this is a fantasy of everybody.
And then, so do you like what? Tell me
you're gonna walk us through this. We're horny.
Yeah. So, because I thought that was always impossible, but you're now telling me it's a possible possibility.
That'll make you know what? That would make more men get into therapy. I feel like, if they knew they had the ability to be sexually abused.
I was like, no way. And so, what happened?
I mean, I won't go into too much detail, but it started off like I said, I was traveling a lot. So I needed something online and I needed something virtual. And like I got matched with this person that was virtual and it ended up that we were in the same town. And like, the therapy continued for a few months and then like, she asked, or she said that it would make sense and it would be better for my progress if we met in person. And from that,
and you got a boner because you knew where it was going.
That's where my fantasy goes.
Yeah.
Oh God, Jeff!
It would be better for your. It would be better.
I was about to scream. You're so lucky.
I have therapy today. today, and I hope my therapist is like, it would be better if you took your pants off.
Yeah. I always imagine that like what would connect us more is if we start
do this session inside of each other.
That would work.
Inside of each other's minds.
Cool you thought it was.
Yeah. So it ruined your life. Is that what you're saying, or like?
No, I wouldn't say ruined my life, but it was definitely there was a very, very quick turnaround for me to be like, oh my God, this is really wrong.
That's what makes it so good.
That's what makes it feel so good. Yeah.
That's the good part.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to make fun of it.
And then sometimes you get the benefit of the double. Do you know what the double is? Afterwards, you feel so wrong, you get extra horny. I feel so nasty. I'm a nasty little boy. I'm the nastiest boy in town. Look how nasty.
I can definitely tell you guys are both married.
We just got shut down by cool dude.
That's even better.
Now you're making me horny.
That's the apex.
Yeah, yell at me, Jeff. Yell at me more.
That's the best kind.
Spit in my mouth, Jeff.
So, Jeff, sorry to bring that up. I just had to because I had to ask because it is possible.
You did not have to. The chat room even said it. The number of people in the chat room that said Jesus Christ Tom at the same time.
Oh, listen,
when I told you about it, I was just trying to sell you on getting me on the show. So I was like, okay, what's the most?
Well, that's what's so.
Look, we will put anybody on this show that's had extreme trauma.
Jeff knows what works. He's like, hey, you want 1,500? You want the story about the sex therapist?
The one thing I will ask is, can you tell us how it ended? Was it messy?
Yeah, it was messy. Like, I'll tell you honestly, like, and I think this is for everybody in the audience. Like, I had a very good friend of mine, that female, that was experiencing an actual sexual assault, and she was like at the same time, and she was asking for me for advice and whatnot. And in my heart and in my mind, I was like, go to the cops, go to the cops, go to the cops, go to the cops. But I couldn't tell her that because like it's her decision. I just told her I'd support her however she wanted to be supported. And when my situation came to the same thing, I was like, well, I need to make sure that this person doesn't do this to anyone else. And so I ended up
you did the right thing.
Oh, no. What was she doing?
You did the right thing. Now, wait a minute. Was it?
I mean, that's even better for me.
No, there's two different things I'm thinking here. I'm not Jeff.
Down?
I'm not Jeff, right?
Yeah.
But there's two ways to look at this. There's ways to look at like, I got to make sure that no one can ever do this to anyone else again. Or there's, I got to make sure that nobody does this to anybody other than me again. You see what I'm saying? There's a huge difference there. You don't want to share your little treat.
No, I know. Sorry. We'll get back to business, Jeff.
Jeff's mad at you now because you broke his trust. You broke his trust. You flushed a friendship down the toilet. This is what you always do.
Well, this is what has to be done for the show.
He always gets our friends on the show, and he's like, tell him about your sexual assault.
This is how Howard Stern got rich.
We're going to draw on your cellulite ass now with a grease pencil. I hope you're okay with it, Jeff. Howard Stern does it.
I imagine if we ever have another interview, he'll show me a doll and say, "Can you tell me where you touched?"
Bring in Gary the Hero.
I love Gary the Hero. How did you know what I watch at night?
You can't trick me. I know what hero means.
All right. Are we going to do a song?
Yeah. Let's do a song, Jeff. What do you want to play for us?
It's got to be Irish, right?
Yeah, a little bit of Irish whiskey.
I'm going to play one that I wrote over there. How about that?
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Whenever you're ready, man.
How do you hear? How's this?
Yeah, it's good.
The road seems endless, goes on and on, carrying the weight of my regret like an old sad song. The ghosts I have on me every day, but I won't let them define who I am. what I had or what I say. No, I won't look back down the road. Not for love, not for gold. No, you can't turn around these Irish roads. The walls closing ahead of me. With my foot on gas, my hands grew tired. It's time to see what the future brings. The hedges show my hesitation. As the wind howls on, I'm driving through to find that love I once knew. No, I won't look back down the road. Not for love, not for gold. No, you can't turn around these Irish roads.
That's awesome, Jeff.
Nice job.
Man,
Nice
I
job,
can't.
buddy.
I
Hold on,
can't.
let me give you a blast.
Yeah. Jeff, I cannot believe you taught yourself to play guitar that well and sing that good. You know, like I talk about this a lot. Of like, just can you go? And you had a little bit of the bass, which but to get that much better at playing a guitar and singing is incredible.
Well,
but
falling in love with the acoustic guitar is another thing too. Yeah, I recently purchased a nice acoustic, and I've been playing it more too. There is something very pleasing to the human brain when you get on there.
The old man ears.
Yeah, well, when you noodle. I like the feeling of it. And plus my body geometry is smaller, so I bought a single O Martin, like a little parlor style. So it's very small guitar, but it fits my hands right. So it does feel better in my hands. It's not like
that's what's funny about me, because I'm a big guy and this is a parlor style.
I love parlor style, man.
And it looks so small, but it's also a rubber band bridge. I don't know if you noticed that, but it's got a
that's cool.
Weird little palm muted sound to it.
Yeah.
Which I fell in love with.
That's cool, man. Jeff, it's awesome to reconnect with you, dude.
And it's cool to see someone that can just get an idea and then
dream
just go
pivot.
do it.
It's called dream pivoting.
You just immediately just leave, and now all of a sudden you're living in Ireland for 2 years, and then you come back, and
I can't do that. I told Andrea last night, let's do a real world one.
It's an ability to live multiple lives, which has to be valuable at the end of your life. You're like, I have lived the lives of 5 different people, and you're like, God, I've only lived my one boring ass life.
No, that's kind of like Dusty Rhodes said, right? I've dined with kings, and I've dined with peasants, baby.
Yeah.
I've been to the mountaintop, the baby.
I think that it's funny, especially when I was in Ireland. I think a lot of people thought I was full of crap, and they were like, "Where do you come from?" And I would say, "Well, I was living here, but then I was living there, and before that I was living here, and oh, by the way, I was born in Belgium." And people are just like, "There's no way that you've lived in all those different places." And it's just, my life ended up like that. I've always known that, yeah, you can pick, anyone can really truly do it, can pick up and go somewhere, start over if they really truly want to do it. It's just a matter of doing it.
Awesome, Jeff. Well, hey, thanks for telling us your story.
Yeah, that was fun, man.
Thanks for people were appalled by me bringing up that story, and I
liked it.
We've known Jeff for a long.
I'm glad you did it. That's typical Tom. I like that. Give me the straight Tom.
Well, I'm comfortable with Jeff because we've known him for such a long time, and Jeff could take it. He's tough.
And I feel like you make us tougher by making us relive our traumas. I feel like
yeah.
You're the real hero here.
I know I am.
I should just hire you as my therapist.
Yeah, but I won't suck it.
I'll come along. I'll do it. I'll do it.
So anyway, no, sorry. So Jeff, where can people find your music online?
So I go under the name Jeff Has Trouble. There's not a whole lot out there yet because I just finished writing this album.
Congrats.
I'm working with a producer, like one of my punk rock producers that I've worked with in the past.
Cool.
To get stuff out, but social media, there's some stuff out there, but the big thing is, I put a lot of work into this record and this set that I'm going to be doing on 27. So if anyone wants to hear any more of what I did, in Tampa at Deviant Libation.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that looks like a really cool place. The people in the chat room were saying Deviant Libations looks like a great little spot. Hey, thank you so much, man, and good luck with the gig.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
all right, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
Take it easy.
See you, Jeff.
Have a good one, guys.
Later, man. That is our good friend Jeff Pauly.
It is cool to see someone just jump because it's like most of us, you settle in, you get a family, and then you just die one day. So that's all you got.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
That's what you can hope for.
And then maybe there's hope there. Like maybe one day I'll just leave and start living in Egypt.
You're always thinking about after you're dead.
Pyramids.
I want someone to desecrate my body because that'll make a better story.
Okay.
Like I want you to stuff me in a cannon and just fire me into the air ragdoll style, or like throw me off a bridge like the good son.
Maybe I can go and live in Costa Rica like my dad's dream one day.
You could do that.
Yeah. And then
You could be like you're doing like the Bradley Noel.
Yeah.
You're like,
And then
but then you'll be haunted by the ghost of your dad for stealing his dream. That's a good movie I just wrote, right? Okay, so the son, he goes to live in Costa Rica to live his dad's dream of being a boat mechanic and do deep sea fishing in Costa Rica. So you set up your marina, you find a nice piece of property, then all these weird things start happening, and that's because it's the ghost of your dad. But he doesn't know that's you. Ghosts don't really know the connection between like their ability and a son. They don't know that.
Yeah, he only knows me as his young 10-year-old son the last time he saw me.
Correct.
Like, who's this old man
Correct.
that's older than him?
And so he's going to try and stop you from doing what he wanted to do on his land. Tell you, this is good. So you end up fighting your own dad. In the end, the ending is beautiful because it starts as a horror movie and you think that there's going to be like bloodshed at the end, but there's not. It's the only horror movie in the first ever of its kind where it's gory at the end. You lose an arm, by the way. No spoilers. But your dad, like, he realizes it's you. There's a moment. There's a breakdown. Your minds connect. He cries. You cry. Then he fades away into heaven. He goes to heaven. And then there's eternal peace.
And then as I'm pulling up the sailfish, he's behind me like Ghost in the pottery.
Yeah. But he's honking your breasts.
All right. Let's get out of here. We'll see you tomorrow.